You guys, it's been a really long time since I've put a video up. I'm really sorry about that. This is the front yard right now. I have a bunch of videos from vacation and from building my new hot tent that I think I'm almost finished with in bank. But they require an editor to put them up. So it's just, I have one. I'm just not getting around to it. It's not my favorite thing to do. So we missed most of the leaves. So sorry about it. I still need to bring that friggin' blanket in. Certainly not green anymore. Lots of crows, though. It is crow season here. If I go through really slow, I might be able to show you how things are doing here. I don't want it to shake too much. Crows, 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 crows. 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 So many crows. The coelios are doing well. The porch is a wreck. Please ignore. The pond seems to drain faster and faster these days. I suppose the other way around, but I guess oh well. The coelios are a little bit messy, huh? I'm gonna clean you up a little, huh? Something came through and ate all my raspberries again, but they are still trying to ripen. There's one right there. It's pink. I'm letting these weeds grow because I want to know what they are. For those of you that are experts at this kind of stuff, which is a lot of you on my channel, I'll give you a nice close-up. That one's fallen down. They're growing up out of the pond. That's okay. They're allowed. Yeah, I've made a maze of the place, you know. I'm really good at being a mess. Oh well. I did harvest a bunch of sunchokes. They were, at least half of them had grubs in them. It was icky. Something even got the whole way in there and ate some of the red leaf plum that self-seeded, and I just transplanted it to there. But at least that thornless raspberry is doing better than the one up on the ridge. Being that the retainer wall needs fixed, I think I'm going to end up digging a lot of them out and putting that here so that I can re-angle my retainer wall and then have raspberries that have like full fencing the whole way up. Less likely to get completely eaten to bits. Gonna have to figure out how I'm doing with a lot of these things. These are all self-seeded yucca from the local cemetery. Not self-seeded. I grew them there, transplanted them here because they were coming up thick like grass and they needed transplanted. This is the ground nut, doing really well still. This is the asparagus with a tomato coming out the middle. It's 75 degrees today. It was 80 degrees yesterday. It's a crazy little bit of weather we're having. Not that that's super unusual anymore, but it should be unusual. It's just not anymore. Those cherry tomatoes love growing through the asparagus, and it turns out that the tomato family helps reduce the presence of asparagus beetles. I don't think that's an asparagus beetle. I think that's a ladybug larva. It's all spiky. That's great. I might see one up there. I don't know if I can reach it. But that also might be a ladybug larva. It's kind of hard to tell right now. I haven't, the years that the tomatoes have grown through the asparagus, I have hardly seen asparagus beetles. So apparently it's true. Whereas garlic encourages them. Isn't that weird? That's backwards from like everything else. Onion family in general. Those blackberries from Edible Acres did really, really well. They're spreading. They're doing really good. I put a secondary trellis because the deer pressure up here is just bonkers and they'll reach right over the fence. Put a secondary trellis here specifically for this is my Illinois mulberry, and it's prone to getting eaten too. That's why I brought it back up in here. This is another plant I want to figure out what it is, so I let it go. I got 2 of them. Relatively evenly spaced too, so like, can't even remember. Maybe I did this on purpose. Very confused by that. And then the rue's doing really good. The cherry did that same thing again where it almost died. This here, it keeps wanting to die instead of produce. This is my, oh, it's got fuzzy bugs on it. I should get those off. Don't think those are good guys. I'm not sure what they are, but they don't look like they're doing good things. Yuck. But this is my columnar apple, and this is why you just walk around and stare every now and again. You can catch stuff before it becomes a major problem. There's definitely like wounds where those were, as you can see. Well, if it's focusing well, you can see it. Yeah, that's interesting. Some here too. Yeah. So that's interesting. We've got lanternflies now, and I had to put herbal pesticide around the grape because they seem to really like the base of the trunk of the grape, the Concord grape I have. Didn't get around to transplanting this. I still could do. Oh, we're sump pumping. It did rain last night. The water comes out right there. And this is like a hugel mound at this point, which I really want to stack wood chips on top of and make flat like the rest of the water divertments that I have around. I think that'd be really nice. And also the let off of a lot of the trenches that I have full of wood chips here is there's a soil and clay lump, but when it overflows it goes into there as well, so it can let off down the street when it's too much. All of these, this one and this one not so much, but it slopes real well here. There is a water pipe through here I don't want to mess with, but back there all of the water slowly works its way through. There's 1 to 4 foot trenches underneath 1 to 4 foot of wood chips, and the wood chips let the water through pretty dang well. So like here it's like 2 foot deep, and back there it's like 3 or 4 foot deep, and all along there it's about 1 foot deep, and it just here it's about 1 foot deep to about 6 inches deep, lets into here, etc. If you take a look at my playlist on water, you'll see. But yeah, I'm still getting a lot of onions. Oh yeah, these are seed starts off of the Kentucky coffee beans. Very excited to have the 2 of them. I do need to transplant them. I do have a lot of seedlings for black locust inside. Sorry, there's someone trimming hedges down the way. That's what the sound is. Someone for black locust down the way. I got a bunch of seedlings inside, and then I planted 2 up in this gap that were fully thornless. I'm 90% sure were fully thornless. They were presenting fully thornless in their youth at the very least. So hopefully that'll help accelerate closing up the gap and just add some nitrogen back in there. Considering I can't get anything to start growing here either, I might put one there as well, because everything I put in that gap seems to die. But I have to keep them coppiced because they can get tall and they are prone to dropping branches and just ending up one singular trunk with almost no branches and the leaves coming straight out of the trunk. So they can, if they're too close to a house, they can get kind of rough. So, look at Splotch. Splotch is splooting right there. Yep. And then there's this very confused little gladiolus that, because it's 80 degrees yesterday and 75 degrees today, it thinks it should bloom. It's November 6th. It was 80 degrees on friggin' Guy Fawkes Day in Pittsburgh. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. This is another trench I want to continue. I have it dug to here and dug to here, backfilled with wood chips on both ends, but I'd like to connect it so that there's another overflow for this pond and one that waters this side. Because all of these plants here are water-loving plants. So the more they can get, the better, I think. You're down, not up? Okay. Cat is yelling at us. So that's a quick little tour. The comfrey is still doing great here. I planted a couple of Pennsylvanica cherries in here. I hope they make it through the winter. They're just little babies, but oh my gosh. Prunus Pennsylvanica is one of our native cherries. They're teeny tiny little pins, but you can eat them seed and all. If they ever taste bitter, don't, because they could be crossbred with something, and the bitterness shows the cyanide. But oh my goodness, it's like cherry essence. They're so good. Yeah. So I'm also clearing out a lot of this here. I discovered I don't have enough space to like have anything recreational or like test my tent to clean my tent outdoors or anything like that, because the fire pit is massive, and this was all rows and rows and rows of just potted plants that I'm not really getting any customers on because I'm not good at marketing, and I really don't want to have to ship things and stuff like that. So I'm kind of scaling back on that, figuring out what I'm going to do with what remains of it. Got to start at least. So that's good. Beautiful evening. I'm going to upload this and then go meet my friend for dinner, because that's what's on the docket for tonight. I hope everybody's doing really good. Thank you so much for visiting the cliffside. Thank you so much for being patient with me just dropping off the face of the earth for mostly no reason. I just got too busy. In the interim, I went to Maryland twice. Once to get my lost GoPro, but then I was so behind on content. I've also been working on possibly a second channel, but of course that in the startup it needs a lot, and I'm completely overwhelmed by handling the additional media, and my computer being kind of limited in what it can save, and bouncing between projects is kind of difficult right now. Had to get an external hard drive to even start because there wasn't enough space, right? And then I'm working on figuring out how I can link my work OneDrive to my YouTube editing computer, because that would be ideal, to just save it there. I get unlimited. But who knows? We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I'll get back on. That's why this one's on my phone. I did also get the vid for about a week in between. It felt like a sinus infection. I got all 4 vaccines, and then a week later I got pretty mild but still slightly symptomatic. Felt like a sinus infection. 3 days of feeling sick because it went around the office. More crows and a helicopter. Yep, so that's where I've been. Sorry I've been MIA. I hope you're all doing really well. I figured I'd just take this real quick and let y'all not worry about me too much. I am over on Instagram. I do upload pictures when I'm out of energy for videos. I do go over on Instagram and at least upload photos to show you that I'm doing okay. And that is also Cliffside Permaculture. That's my handle there too. So, all right. I hope you're having a really good day. Thanks so much for visiting the Cliffside. This has been Permaculture in late fall. Take care. Bye.